And welcome back to the mushroom patch. Okay, changes to the base. There have been a few. I have expanded the farming. I got a seed trader and I've kept him captive because he has some seeds that I can't yet afford. And I am able to grow most of what I need. So I've already got a lot of mushroom seeds because I've been growing those for a while. Soybeans, those were the starting ones. I bought some tomato seeds, potato and wheat, and I have been growing same. And yes, there is, or the most recent update I think did tweak the food values. So, oh, now I've got seeds. That's good. So you now get 5 wheat. Do I have that seed as well? Yes, I do. All right, so I'm going to keep the seeds because at some point I will get a greenhouse going and I will need them. All right, so I'm going to wait for the potatoes to seed. All right, the soybeans have seeded. Well, that one has. Yeah, I put together the basic kitchen stuff, printed up a couple of empty cans. I've got 1 can of soup, or canned tomato as it is now. Canned mushroom as it is now. And I have got busy outside, and let us go out there. There's some bits and pieces I'm going to need, but I'm going to come back for those, I think. Actually, I can print up. Let's see, how many can I make? 2 of those. Well, that's good. And I know I'm going to need a bunch more, and I'll also need a liquid tank as well, because I am running out of water. I've got 2 water bottles here, the 3 down here, but this is down to 21 litres. And that's all the water I have. And with this being the new Mimas, there is no water ice to be found. So, other changes, I tweaked the code that charges up the battery. So when it drops down to 10, it charges it up to 80. One of the commenters on a recent video, actually not this series but another series, commented that relying on the passive vents to cool is a bad idea, and he suggested adding some radiators. So I've added, I think, 4 radiators in the Stirling room, and it's made a big difference. Keeps the room a lot cooler, slows down the heat rise, so letting the Stirling run for longer makes sense. So I charge the battery up to 80% when I'm done. All right. I also printed up a bunch more batteries because you need them, and I set up some oxygen reclamation because the tank I started with had got down to 4 megapascals. I was getting less and less out of it, so I made a couple of smart canisters, put this reclamation thing in here. I did dump a load of oxide in here just to keep the pressure up. And yeah, that's working out fine. So at some point I will automate this so that the pressure in this part, so it comes out here into the bottom section and these ones here, so it will maintain 30 megapascals in here, so I'll always have a nice reservoir. Right now I don't really have enough oxygen to do that, and so I haven't bothered adding that automation to it. I have automated the cooling, also changed the layout a little bit, see if that can get a little bit more efficient. So this valve will turn on when the temperature hits, I think, 27 Celsius, and turns off when it hits 22. So one less thing to worry about. This will be the override switch. I haven't set it up yet, and that obviously will be paired with the occupancy sensor. I do have a beacon up there, and on the other side of this wall, or just up there, you can see I have a proximity sensor Neither of those are wired in yet. So whenever I leave, I have to use the portable and remember to turn it on and put a battery in it. Right. Close and lock the helmet. So water production is the next major thing. I have put in a couple of ice crushers back here with tanks for the oxide and the volatiles. Where's my ammo tablet? So I have 2,000 moles here and 5,000 moles here, and I have been pulling out the nitrogen into here. The nitrogen will eventually get piped back into the base as I did before, and there'll be a suit storage thing in this square down here, and that'll receive the nitrogen for the jetpack fuel. You can use anything, but I'm going to be getting a bunch of nitrogen, so I may as well use it. I added a couple of consoles here so I can see what the temperature and pressure is in the waste tank, just to make certain I don't go over. This is still draining from the last smelting operation. It should be able to shut off fairly soon. That pipe doesn't appear to be damaged, which is good, because every now and again I'll kind of forget about this, and the gas will, or whatever's in the furnace, will gradually cool down, and at some point it will create ices or liquids, and the pipes will go boom. There's the rest of my pipes. They'll do. Right, so this will be my combustor, or it is my combustor, I should say. Right, that and the screwdriver. I don't have any fuel yet. I do have a mixer valve though, which I can get ready. Right, so we want the, well, where does it take power from? Yeah, I can't put it there because otherwise I'll never get power to it. Although, I guess I could mount it like that. No, I think I'll keep it flat. Yeah, so if I run power along the join there, it'll be able to go in that way. Oh. And I am out of insulated pipes again. Big surprise. Anyway, it's going to be a while before we have the nitrogen filtered out of the oxygen tank, and I don't want to start mixing the fuel and messing up the mixture. This landing pad was really a temporary thing just to get seeds. Of course, I can't do anything until I turn it on. He has some seeds I want to get, like pumpkin seeds, but they're very expensive, 400. Switchgrass I'll probably get, even though I may not use them. And obviously there's the new ones, the sugarcane and the cocoa. Oh, and corn as well. I don't have those, or ferns. So I can't afford any of those. But I don't want to send the guy away yet. But the only problem is he doesn't, all he wants is water. Maybe I can sell him some CO2, but it has to be cooled down a lot. And I think I need to put the gas processing modules on. So I'm keeping hold of this guy at the moment, but I don't know whether I'll actually trade anything with him. Right, so once this is done, then...
Jetpack low.
Oh yeah. The output from the combustor is going to be very hot gas. I will probably put another tank in play, not certain exactly where, but you know me, my tendency is for messy pipes, and there's a good opportunity to finagle something. The obvious solution, or the obvious thing, would be to run whatever hot gases, the waste gases from this, through the Stirlings, and I may well do that. But for the moment, just the regular byproduct of smelting has been enough to supply all the power I need. So I may not need to go overboard on that. Actually, it shows running. Okay, so it's running reasonably well. It's just one of those things where the fan doesn't appear to be moving. It's just a frame rate thing, I guess. But yeah, that's running along quite nicely. Have been mining, bunch of ores down there. I do need to make some more, or I do need to do some more smelting, but I can't remember exactly what it is I need. And I have decided I'm going to build the greenhouse out here, but rather than having it as a physically separated building, I will have an airlock between them, so you can walk out directly from one to another. What I'd like to do is create an airlock that is suitless. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but an airlock that doesn't actually put you into a vacuum. You know, one that just makes certain that there are no unwanted gases from the hab going into the greenhouse. If the greenhouse gas escapes back into this part of the base, don't think that would be an issue. So don't really know how I'm going to do that, but it should be possible. I mean, it'll function like an airlock, but it won't be an airlock, because an airlock basically creates a vacuum and then refills it with air from the same place that you were going to. Let's pick those up so I don't lose those. Yeah, so that's where we are. Let's see how we're doing here. Well, still got 40 odd moles to go in there, so that's going to be a little while. I do need some more cables, pipes, and I will need to figure out a way of filling up the jetpack. I suppose the easy way would be just put a regulator on there and fill it from there, assuming I want to stay with pure nitrogen. All right, let's see. Yeah, I pulled those seeds, didn't I? Right, so I should probably harvest this lot and replant. Although you get so much now, I think I'll only go with one row. Oh yeah, and the grow light is also automated from the daylight sensor up there. Right, I'm not going to turn these into flour just yet. Right, let's get my seeds. What's that? Soybeans. Okay. Put those in there. All right, so both soybeans have seeded. That's good. And tomatoes still haven't done anything. this is, I mean, food-wise, I'm okay as long as I can continue to put water in it. Getting water is going to be the big thing. Right, so how many of those tanks did I get? All right. Oh. I've also made the advanced furnace, I just haven't put it together yet. What I was thinking of doing was one episode, one video dedicated just to building it. There has been some interest in how the manual furnace goes together and how it works and why it's built the way it is, so I figured if I did a dedicated episode to building it, showing what I do and some of the whys, yeah, it may be useful, may be helpful to someone. Right, I'm going to say, well, that's good enough. Anything else I need from in here? Might need cable. Right. Yeah, and I really should put a proper airlock circuit in here. I mean, in the early stages, because I was coming from a full base, or a base that had largely been finished, it would... Oh, sorry, I've just realized I wanted to put this in here as well to equalize the temperatures. Yeah, and of course you can't have it exactly centered unless I do it like that. In the past I've kind of buried it in the floor, but let's do it like that for this time. Right, so this will equalize the temperature between them, although they're already pretty close. 0.068, 0.064. Yeah, they really are the same temperature, but because I may well be filtering other stuff into these tanks, I do want to make certain that they are set up the same. And where's that one going to go? Right, this one will go up. There we go, already getting into the funkiness. Love it. Okay, so doesn't affect it at the moment, but in the future it will make certain that the gases coming in are at the right temperatures, or they are at the same temperature. It won't actually control what temperature they are, it'll just make certain that they're the same. Right, so for the oxygen one, I guess we'll come over like so. Come down, and I'm not going to have enough pipe. Typical. Right, so I'm going to need about half a dozen, I think. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to need a lot more than that, because it's going to have to feed out to, initially, at least a tank. So I do have the tanks made up, so I'll just print up all of this stuff. I have another 100 silicon and plenty of steel at the moment. Oh yeah, and I also put in a lot more passive vents into the base ventilation network. Painted it black just because it looks better, I think, or doesn't look as horrendous as all the yellow pipe. But that one I kept yellow, just, you know, for reasons. I might as well let it print up the whole lot. Actually, I will need that in my hand. Ah. Perfect. Now I do have to get power there. Also have to get power here. So and I have to get waste gas out of there, but that will go up somewhere. I mean, I was thinking of putting it over this side, but then I have to like shuttle it back there. And I could just get rid of all this. Okay, let's have a little think. Yeah, the water processing was going to be over here, but maybe I'll just build up.
Power low.
Have a little tower type thing. If I just put another insulated tank there, it kind of gets in the way.
Jetpack low.
And that is really going to bite me in the derriere, not having a jetpack. So it might be better to, you know, right. Have the storage thing up there. But in this case, because the last time I did that, I misjudged. And it offended my OCD compulsions. Right, so let's not put this one like that. Let's yeah. So if that goes like that, then Right, so that will give me somewhere to store all the hot gas that comes out of there. Can still get the wiring in there, I believe. Yeah, because it won't be able to go through that way, so I'll have to come this way. Don't know if I'll use the data connection for it, but I may as well have it in situ. Like that.
Jetpack low.
And of course things won't work if we don't have them painted the right colour. So that's red. That's white. This should be... Oh, I'm not going to do blue. Oh, we'll do purple because we know it's going to be hot. And I'm thinking one way of cooling it down would be to put the, or instead of having go into an insulated tank, just put it into a regular one, maybe even with regular pipes, and it'll let it cool down on its own, and the water will naturally condense out. And then I just need a bunch of condensation valves into a water tank, and I end up with warm to hottish water. But then that foregoes the possibility of running it through the Stirling. And I would like to do that because I would like to expand, add at least one more of these small station batteries, maybe even replace it with a large one. Because I think a large one is something like 2.5 times the capacity of those. I don't recall the numbers exactly. But yeah, and then make certain I'm not wasting any source of energy. But yeah, the more I think about it, the more likely I am just to rip out this trading thing and completely relocate it. All right, let's see, how are we doing? Of course, the more cluttered I make this, the harder it is to get at what I need to measure. Maybe I should paint that a different colour. Yeah, it's kind of funky. We'll leave it as is. Alright, so let's see, how much nitrogen do we have? Not very much. I mean, I'd get a bottle full of it. But for replenishing the jetpack, it probably makes more sense just to tap off of this. I don't use it inside the base, so it's not a huge issue. Yeah. I'm not too worried. The only time I've ever needed a jetpack on Mimas was when I was mining at the bottom of a deep hole, and there are issues when you get down to bedrock, like the actual bottom of the game map. It only lets you dig if there is a lump of ore there, and then you can end up with a very steep-sided hole. And once that ore chunk has been mined out, it won't affect the voxels anymore. And I kind of got stuck there, and I didn't have jetpack. So the solution was temporarily just put the waste tank in there and in the jetpack slot, and that was able to boost me out. But yeah, not something you really want to be doing that often. So yeah, we will have the greenhouse out here. It won't be as big as it was before, or the last time I was on Mimas. And yeah, so we should be able to create water soon. And I think it will be in time, like before that blue tank runs out. There's always the possibility I could trade for some, but I would have to do a bunch of mining and find someone who actually wants to buy ores or ingots. And there's not much money to be made there, so that probably wouldn't be worthwhile. Okay, anyway, that's really all on the base update at the moment and what the future plans are. I don't know where the advanced furnace is going to go. It kind of makes sense for it to go over here somewhere because this is where all the gas processing is, and that will also generate hot gas, which can be run through the Stirlings. Maybe put it over in this area over here. You know, just so it's the other side of the Stirling room and we don't have everything going off in one direction. Don't really know. But anyway, that will be a subject of its own video. So if you're interested in how the manual advanced furnace is put together and why it gets put together the way I do it, tune in. If you're not, that'll be an episode you may want to skip. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. 54 Bear out.